bus brawl caught on camera. 3 black college students had claimed they were attacked because of their race, but now they're facing charges because police claim that this surveillance video tells a very different story.
This morning, 3 college students under fire for what's seen in the surveillance video.
Hi, yes, I'd like to report the fact that me and my friends were just jumped on a bus for being black.
Just after 1 a.m. on January 30th, Ariella Gudio, Alexis Briggs, and Aisha Burwell, all 20-year-old college students at the University at Albany, claiming they were the only black students on a city bus when they were called racial slurs and hit by several white males. They say they were surrounded by students and felt threatened. They fought back. 2 of the girls called 911.
It was a racially fueled crime. We were 3 black girls jumped by like 20 white people.
University staff and students immediately rallying behind the girls. But within hours of that rally, an Instagram video posted online showing what looks like the girls approaching the men first, leading to the release of this surveillance video from inside the bus that night. Witnesses on board telling police it wasn't the men, but the women who were the aggressors.
It definitely looks like it wasn't what the girl said it was that happened, and actually it looks like the opposite.
But the girls maintain they are the victims. This week, all 3 girls in court pleading not guilty to charges of third-degree assault. Civil rights activists now concerned about what this case could mean for future racial crimes.
When there's another incident or a similar incident, will the community believe this? And that is very troubling for many people.
And 2 of the girls have also been charged with falsely reporting an incident. By the way, we should tell you, the video does not make clear exactly what happened.
Because Mr. Diallo was black. I believe the cops were afraid of him for that reason and that reason alone. So frightened they couldn't see straight, think straight, or shoot straight. If they'd been at their PD firearm range in the Bronx, all 41 of those shots fired as they were at point-blank range would have found their target. But why were they so frightened? President Clinton said at this time, if it had been a young white man in a young, all-white neighborhood, it probably wouldn't have happened. To determine whether the Diallo killing or any other police action was racially motivated, you have to ask, would the cops have behaved the same way if the man had been white? No. Diallo was killed because of his dark skin. A white man reaching for his wallet under identical circumstances, including language barrier, would have been given the benefit of the doubt. Simply put, white cops are afraid of black men. We don't talk about it. We pretend it doesn't exist. We claim colorblindness. We say white officers treat black men the same way they treat white men, but that's a lie. In fact, the bigger, the darker the black man, the greater the fear. The African American community knows this. Hell, most whites know it. Yet even though it's a central, if not the defining ingredient in the makeup of police racism, white cops won't admit it to themselves or to others. I will stop there. This is Mr. Norm Stamper, white male, former chief of police in Seattle. You called CNN to ask that he be a guest on their program to discuss what's happening in Ferguson. Is that true?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I said you called CNN to ask that they have Mr. Stamper on to discuss what's happening in Ferguson. Is that true?
Right, I did, but that was just on a comment line, so I didn't get any answer. But when I was in Houston giving a talk yesterday, I'm advocating that every single black person, I don't know Mr. Stamper, never met him, but his book is so important, revealing what indeed is in the minds of white police officers. I'm not saying 100%, but a sufficient number for black people to have the experience that they have, or for black mothers and fathers to have to worry about the safety and welfare of their male children.
What?
Jesus.
Oh
Yes.
shit! Yeah, you got to fill the people in on that, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be listening, but I gotta go upstairs. I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, there was literally just another mass shooting in South Carolina. Damn, it ain't looking good, bro. Let me see.
Is it in a mall? I'm trying to look it up.
Nah, it's in a restaurant. I literally just got the alert, but my phone froze up. But hey, happy Easter.
Yeah. I saw the headline. I didn't look at it though.
Yeah, so basically her family went out of town. She had 2 sons, one and a husband. They went to Oregon, and she basically like had a sneaky link lined up, so she was cheating. And I guess the nigga that she fucking cheated with fucking murked her ass. Not chopped her. She wasn't mutilated. I guess he just bent her backwards type shit, or bent her
folded
forwards
her like a sandwich.
Yeah, man. Put her in a duffel bag like some football pads, man. Shit's fucking crazy. I don't know if it was some burrito shit or some super gremlin shit, but nowadays, shit, you never know. But yeah, I got this South Carolina story queued up. But yeah, we lit. We lit tonight. You know what I mean? We lit.
Ack was just saying he wouldn't be surprised if there was another mass shooting, and then you come up in here saying there was another one. And oh man,
my nigga. Yo, it's fucking crazy.
Shootings reported in America this weekend in New York, South Carolina, and Pennsylvania. An urgent manhunt is underway at this hour for the gunman who opened fire during a huge party at an Airbnb in Pittsburgh. At least 2 people were killed, 13 injured. Video.
God damn, nigga.
Airbnb.
Fuck out.
Airbnbs again.
God damn it.
Shows panic inside the house. At least 90.
They fucking it up. Honestly, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. They fucking it up. Now, how are niggas gonna get an Airbnb?
Oh,
how can you as a homeowner, seriously, like we talk about, you know, housing discrimination. How are you, you know what I'm saying? How are you seriously going to take a son applicant serious if these things are fucking happening? Niggas is fucking the game up. They're fucking the game up.
Shots fired. About 200 people pushing their way toward the door. Here's ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi.
Another mass shooting claiming 2 young lives, teenage boys overnight in Pittsburgh, adding to the spike in gun deaths in America. Police say more than 200 people, many of them underage, were at a party at this Airbnb when suddenly a hail of bullets, more than 90 were fired.
God. Dumb niggas.
Extendos, right? More than 90?
More than 90. And there's actually a song called like Shoot Up the Club or Shoot Up the Party. We shoot up. Like, it's a new song. And it's actually like pretty lit in Atlanta. Like, bro, I went to, cause like my sister, she be doing performances and shit on some rap shit. I went to a performance. Usually they be performing in strip clubs. Dude, there was a song that came on talking about some We Shoot Up the Party, and niggas was going like they was lit to that shit. You know what I'm saying? So these types of songs, and thankfully that party didn't get shot up, but these types of songs are like really going up in the community. Like, for real, it's kind of crazy. And then they're actually shooting the parties up.
Who's gonna be the first MC that starts rapping about shooting up the Airbnb? Like, that's gonna become a thing, like in songs now. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real.
Dog, he got a gun, dog. He got a gun.
The panic sending partygoers tumbling down steps in their efforts to make it to the front door. Others breaking bones after leaping from windows.
Oh my God!
Besides those 2 dead,
I didn't even know about this Pittsburgh shit. I did not even know about this Pittsburgh shit. But I think I'm gonna have to read the South Carolina one. Because I don't think they have a video on it yet, or I'll try and find it.
8 others were wounded, as police believe an altercation led to the drawing of multiple weapons.
When we heard the bang, 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 we looked out the window and people were running out the door and screaming, yelling, crying. And my wife, I said, get away from the window.
Innocent people were struck. We're sick about it, and we're going to do everything we can to get those responsible for it.
Authorities tonight saying they have not yet made any arrests. And just hours earlier, chaos also erupting at this mall in Columbia, South Carolina. 9 people shot, 5 others were injured when police believe an ongoing conflict between at least 2 suspects resulted in an exchange of gunfire. The Easter weekend shootings coming on the heels of the random mass shooting in Brooklyn Tuesday that left 10 people shot, and underscores nationwide concerns over gun violence.
No, I say over and over again, there are many rivers that feed the sea of violence. This is a national issue. This is not a red state, blue state.
Mass shootings, defined as when 4 or more people are shot in a single incident, are up 66% in the last 2 years.
Already more than 130 mass shootings in the U.S. here this year.
What percentage of those 130 mass shootings in the U.S. are from Super Gremlins? Please, I would like to know in the chat, what do y'all think? What percentage of these mass shootings, 130 mass shootings in the US, what percentage of those come from these Super Gremlins on Demon Time?
And Mona Kosar-Abdi joins us now. Mona, Airbnb released a statement regarding the early morning shooting in Pittsburgh. What are they saying?
Lindsay, Airbnb says they have a strict no party policy and have banned that booking guest for life. They also say they are considering legal options to hold them accountable. Lindsay?
Mona, thank you.
So
they're blocked. Problem solved, right? They're blocked.
Yeah, they just gonna get another motherfucker to do that shit. But okay, so this is updates on the South Carolina shooting. Hold on, they finna start. What up?
Oh, no, go ahead, let it play.
This is the same video. I was just finna read this article.
Well, check this out though. What's the number you just gave for mass shootings?
130 or 133, something like that. What they
Well, on the site that I follow on Twitter, Mass Shooting Tracker, and I mean they're extremely accurate. They say it's 171. With the latest one being in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, today, where 4 people were shot and injured in a neighborhood called Fairhill, and there was 147 minutes ago in Nevada, Las Vegas, where 2 adults and 2 minors were shot at a house party in North Las Vegas 47 minutes ago. And then 56 minutes ago, there was a mass shooting in Sacramento where 1 was killed and 3 were injured. So I think you guys don't understand how fluid this situation is. This is a fluid situation. And 1 hour ago, there was a mass shooting in Paw Paw, Michigan, outside of a sports bar. Then 8 hours ago, there was the one in Furman. So, okay, so there's been since the last one that we're covering here, there's been 4 mass shootings.
And this one in South Carolina just happened at a restaurant in South Carolina.
Oh, there's another one?
Yeah, it says at least 9 people have been shot at South Carolina restaurant, according to the police. The shooting occurred Sunday morning at Cara's Lounge in Furman, South Carolina, located about 50 miles northwest of Columbia, according to the South Carolina State Law Enforcement Division, which received a request from the Hampton County Sheriff's Office to lead the investigation. The circumstances leading to the shooting are not clear. Police did not immediately release further information.
So what happened this morning
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I was aware of that one, but
Okay.
that the one the four I just mentioned, though, the thing
That was the second one in South Carolina in the last 2 days.
exactly, and everyone's on. If you go on Twitter, they're talking about the NRA.
Mm-hmm.
Like 90% of the tweets. If any of y'all, if you're going on Twitter later on and y'all check this out, 90% of the tweets on Twitter are bashing the NRA.
Dude, I literally went to like a mass this for like Easter and shit, and there were like, it was like security guards wearing NRA hats, and I guarantee none of them motherfuckers have been involved in no mass shootings or shootings that weren't in a self-defense situation.
Mm-hmm.
And context, because the context of her visit at that time is almost identical to the context of what we're in right now. Wow, it's going to sound like she is talking to us live and direct, as though Dr. Welsing was here with us on this, slowly creeping into summer June day. Just the context. Why, right now, we were very active in that month, August 2014. But context, this is a great illustration of context, and even you can look at the context of your particular situation or predicament and find similar context, and you might be able to find logic that will work well for you. But I was looking for this broadcast. It came to mind immediately as the protests and everything began over the past few weeks or so, with black male arrested for napalm in St. Louis. Saw that one as well. He's going to be a black identity extremist for sure. Okay, here we go. How is it illogical? Because they were tearing down statues in Philadelphia. They took down a statue of Frank Rizzo. In Birmingham, they took down a statue of a Confederate soldier. I have no idea what that has to do with George Floyd, or how that replaces white supremacy with justice, how that improves the lives of black people in Philadelphia or Birmingham, Alabama, where these statues were removed. Free Mumia. But folks wrote, how is it illogical to focus one's rebellious unrest, love that one, they got all kinds of cute labels for all this, on a symbol of white supremacy? And does the same suggested illogic apply to white people causing the destruction? Also had, they should be burning every statue of a white supremacist leader. Are you seriously mad this is happening? I just paid attention to the emotion right there, because Gus T didn't say he was mad about anything. Gus T just asking for logic. Just following the logic. And asking also for people, if you're over 15 years old, you've seen a riot before. You've seen rebellious unrest before. You've seen a protest before. You've seen these marches before. You've seen all this before. I don't think anybody who is over 15 years old, who's being honest with himself, who is following logic, is looking at any of this and saying, oh, things are going to drastically improve for black people after this. Wow, this is something I've never seen before. I don't think, if you are over 15 years old and you have, reasonable grasp of your mental faculties, reasonable understanding of white supremacy, racism, you should have correct understanding of what takes place when all this unfolds, especially in an election year, because this same type of thing happened the first time around when our current president walked all over Hillary Clinton, crooked Hillary, celebrating in November. It was exactly the same thing. Good memories. You don't even have to have a good memory. Just, halfway okay. Just 2016. We're not talking ancient history. Anyway, 2014 was also not ancient history. Without further ado, the grandcestor, author of the ISIS Papers, Keys to the Colors, such a devastating loss that she is not here with us now, but wowee, did she leave us boatloads of information. If you've not read the ISIS Papers, read it. If you have read it, maybe you need to reread it. We've had some of the Very Cows listeners who said, man, for some of the broadcasts with Dr. Welsing, I need to go back and re-listen because I don't even catch all the information that she was, attempting to share with us the first time around. So you might need to revisit if you heard her 24th visit. Whew,
take a re-listen. It will sound very different in our current context of June 2020, not talking about Ebola, but with COVID-19 and the current situation with the protests and marches worldwide. Context of white supremacy. This is not the full broadcast that we're going to listen to. This is a pretty nice section, so get comfortable, relax. The full audio is in the archive, should be linked in the description, but that is certainly worthy of checking out the entirety. But this is a nice, healthy portion. Hopefully will help folks get a better understanding of what is happening right now. Context of white supremacy, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's 24th visit to the cows.
And I want to read, this is from Norm Stamper's book, to go to talking about what's been happening with Ferguson and just the seemingly daily reports of black people, melanin-dominant humans being killed and slaughtered. This is Norm Stamper's book. Again, he'll be with us on Thursday. He's been a guest on the program twice before, and we discussed the segment that I'm about to read. But this is from his book, Breaking Rank. This is a white man. He was a former police officer in Southern California, as well as the chief of police right here in Seattle, where we are. But the chapter is Why White Cops Kill Black Men. He writes, Mama and Daddy were lucky they had girls. I had boys. My boys are 11 and 9 now, and I'm scared to death for them. It's not that I'm afraid they're going to get jumped into a gang or wind up doing or dealing drugs. No, sir. My big fear is they're going to run into one of you people one night and they won't be coming home. It's like open season on young black men in our community, like they're walking around with targets on their backs. I have a recurring nightmare. Chief, I get this call in the middle of the night. Come on down to the morgue, Mrs. Johnson. We got one of your boys here. Police shot him when he tried to run. He says this is a quote from an African-American mother at a community forum. He goes on. It's open season on us in the Heights. Chief, if you're working the blacks, you're wearing a target. Plain and simple. For me, it comes down to this. Kill or be killed. I got a wife and 2 boys. My sons need their father, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it home at the end of shift. This is from a white cop, a member of an officer safety task force 2 weeks after the previous black mother gave her comments. He goes on, this is all Mr. Stamper's writing now. Anxious about the futures of 4 young boys, a black mom and a white dad used identical metaphors in April 1985 to describe the killing ground that was, in their respective minds, the black community. There is no better case study of this issue than the Amadou Diallo incident in New York City. Mr. Diallo was approached by 4 NYPD officers one night in February 1999. The cops thought he might be a rape suspect. Frightened, not understanding what was going on, Diallo reached for his wallet to show the officers his ID. One of the cops yelled, "Gun," and in less time than it takes to read this sentence, 41 shots were fired, 19 of them striking Mr. Diallo. Diallo was not a rapist. In fact, he had no criminal record. NYPD ruled it a clean shooting, meaning the killing of the 22-year-old non-English speaking unarmed immigrant was legally justified within department policy. The Department of Justice found no civil rights violations. A state criminal trial ended in 4 acquittals. But an innocent man was shot dead. Why?
Like any member of the NRA is going to be most likely a responsible gun owner. That's just the facts.
Exactly. They're not going to be doing some stupid shit. But,
right.
But check out this kid. Hold on. Let me switch this other one. This kid who did the mass shooting. Who's been arrested for the one. It's the mall shooting. So we got the first one in South Carolina in the last 24 hours. The kid was arrested for the mall shooting. This kid right here, Jermaine. They said he looked like
Price.
They say he looked like Stacey Abrams.
I thought he was a woman for a second.
Yo, this nigga got 3 necks officially.
Yeah, he
Like
a big
it ain't
boy
even no
too.
question. Oh
He's
God.
a big boy. And apparently, he's been in trouble before. I know. Don't.
Of course.
No way.
Yeah, I know. It's a shock.
Niggas,
Get out of here.
Hey, them niggas on some gangster shit out there in South Carolina. I know you heard about. Well, this is North Carolina, but the baby shit getting ran in.
Yeah, definitely, man. I definitely heard about that. That was. I commend him for not killing that brother, but
absolutely.
But I definitely heard about that. He has a lot of altercation, man. Like God, wasn't the bowling alley just like a couple
the
months?
bowling alley.
Like
that was
like,
literally 2 months ago.
maybe six a year, 6 of these things a year, man. But yeah, he's a wild boy. But that also you have to understand too, like he they're coming at him too. He's not always the aggressor in his he's aggressive.
Oh yeah,
in the design about 50%. About 50% of the time.
Right.
He's the
they definitely coming for him.
But when he's the victim, he's never really the victim. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he always wins, which is like kind of scary because it's like he gotta lose one. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. He gotta. Honestly, he should move out of the country, do a Europe tour for about like a whole year, and learn the landscape, and just stay in Europe. Honestly, he would.
What country would you say he stayed in? Not England, right?
Nah, hell no. It's too many niggas. Somewhere where it's like not a lot of activity, not a lot of super gremlin activity. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, he got to go somewhere where pretty much he's starting a whole new life, honestly.
And where would you suggest? I mean, like, I'm not even trying to be funny, man. Like, where? Because you know they're letting immigrants. These immigrants are coming over there.
Because of this terrorism of feeling the necessity to kill and destroy black men. And so again, I'm going to do the PR for his book. Every single black person should have that book as testimony to what it is that we are experiencing. I hope that this is not going to get Mr. Stamper in any difficulty with the greater white community because of these truths that he revealed a number of years ago. But again, I can't stress enough. It goes into great detail about the kind of language that is shared between many white police officers, the negative, demeaning, destructive language that they use when they're on the telephone talking to each other about black men in particular. So I don't know, is he fearful? Is he worried in your conversations with him?
This will be his 3rd time on the program, and I never got a sense that he felt that he was in danger or that something might happen to him for having these sort of discussions. I'll be sure to ask him that on Thursday, but I've never got a sense that, he feels he might be putting himself in jeopardy by sharing this sort of information.
See, there really needs to be an absolute demand on the part of black people all across this nation, demanding that Mr. Stamper be heard. I don't know how that could be accomplished, but I think that everybody fails to have answers. And I've talked about it, and Mr. Stamper doesn't take his analysis or his observations to where I take it, that this fear that white people in general, white males in particular, white police officers, even in more particularity, this fear that they talk about. Now, they're the ones with all of the weapons. The black male that they encounter has no weapons. So what is this fear about? And I say that the fear is at the subconscious level, and the most fundamental fear that people who classify themselves as white have, and that's the fear of their genetic annihilation. And as I've said many times on your show before, that this is the key to understanding racism, that the fear that they talk about is the fear that is generated because black people are genetically dominant in terms of skin coloration compared to the genetic recessive white-skinned people. And so this focus and obsession where they have a weapon, where indeed the only weapon that they have that is not a weapon at all, but it is their genetic and constitutional makeup. And it's only males that are focused on because it's only males who can impose sexual intercourse, whether they're white, black, brown, red, or yellow.
It appears, Mr. Stamper, you said you were able to make your comment. You called in to CNN. You weren't able to speak with anyone, but you did leave a message about your request that they have Mr. Stamper on. It appears that they did have him on CNN to talk about the events in Ferguson and to give his expertise, his view, seeing that he has, I believe, about 20 years worth of experience as an enforcement officer and a chief of police. Did he, in the segment that you saw, did he share anything related to that segment of the book where he talks about why white officers shoot black people?
Now that's what I didn't hear. See, I didn't hear any discussion of that particular chapter in his book. And then he has a chapter on racism, and he has a chapter on white cops killing black men. But I didn't hear that segment discussed. And if it was discussed and I missed it, it ought to be repeated over and over and over and over again. And he really needs to be brought in on the part of the prosecutor to talk about this, be a witness for the prosecution in the case of Michael Brown, but it should have happened in the case of Trayvon Martin and all of the other cases that come up where black people are, another black man has been shot, and then people start mourning and moaning and crying. But nobody says, well, let's begin Norm Stamper. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm saying even on the part of people who classify themselves as white in the media. Why don't they say, well, this is exactly what Norm Stamper wrote about some time ago in his book, Breaking Rank? And I've never heard that. Have you ever heard that?
No, ma'am.
See, here's a white police officer who's giving testimony to what white police officers think about black men and their obsession with killing black men.
They just ain't gonna tell nobody. Hit one.
Whoever's doing the editing here is trying to get the message out.